Zoning Appeals meeting. We'll move on to 2. Could everyone stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We'll move on to roll call.
Nico Vallejo.
Here.
John Gill.
Here.
Chris Griesbaum.
Here.
Adam Decker.
Here.
Bill Anasopoulos.
Here.
And Ashley Abernathy.
All right, we'll move on to 4, election of officers. So we need a chairperson, vice chair, and secretary.
So I would recommend opening the floor for nominations for chairperson, and then whomever, because we only have 3 members, whomever's elected chair would then be second on vice and secretary.
I'll nominate Chris Griesbaum for chairperson.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second to nominate Chris Griesbaum as chairperson. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, we need vice chair.
I nominate John Gill for vice chair.
Second.
All right, I have a motion to elect John Gill as vice chair. I have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right, and secretary.
I'll make a motion to nominate Nico Vallejos for secretary.
Second.
You second?
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. That passes also 3-0. Okay, we'll move on to agenda item 5 for December 3rd, 2025 meeting minutes.
They have been distributed. If there are no corrections or comments, then the board is welcome to act on those minutes.
Make a motion to approve the December 3rd, 2025 meeting minutes as posted.
Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. All right, we'll move on to item 6, public hearings. So we'll move to item A, 2026-01, Price, a developmental variance request from St. John to request ability to construct a fence on a corner lot to be located 18 inches from the property line, zoned RC2 PUD, located at 9234 91st Place. Daniel Price is the owner.
Mr. Chair, before we get started with this public hearing, I would like to advise Mr. Price has provided all his proofs of publication. However, when reviewing the adjacent property owner list, he was not provided a complete adjoiner property list. I have consulted with our legal on this, and the recommendation is that we can open the public hearing, start the public hearing, but continue the public hearing into our February 4th public meeting and have the send out the missing adjoining letters. I have provided Mr. Price a list of the missing adjoining property list, so he can send that letter out. So again, we can open the public hearing, start it, but we cannot close it, and it would have to be a continuation and a deferral until our February.
So this is something we're not going to vote on this evening.
Correct.
Good evening. Yes, I am requesting and have requested to basically take my fence from it'd be the northeast side of my property. I want to build a fence in the backyard. It would be an aluminum fence, 4 foot tall. I want to go outside the parameters of my home it'd be going towards Willow Street and be about 18 inches from the sidewalk, which in turn would be about 19 more feet away from my home, where I would extend the fence out and obviously still follow the existing property lines of my yard. The reasons why, there's a few reasons why. First one is obviously due to our layout of our property is for the safety of really my grandchildren as part of it, is by fencing in that area, I can keep them they would travel from our driveway and our service door, which is on Willow. They could travel next to the house versus going down to down to the sidewalk. If the gate would be would be facing, I guess, the east side. If I didn't get the variance, I'd have to put the gate on the east side. They'd have to walk down there. They'd come up to the backyard if they went that route. So part of it is for my family. The second part is that area where I do want to extend. It's about 450 square feet of property. That would be addition to my backyard. On the west side of my property, there's a big swale that kind of runs for the drainage. And on that west side, I lose about the same amount of property because of that swale, because of the water, the way the water runs. This area, if I fence it in, would give me the flattest part of my yard. And so whether it's for, again, cookouts, whatever, with the grandchildren, again, for safety, and for our dog, it would give her a better flat property than on the one side where we really can't use it much because of the way the watershed runs. So the other part is aesthetics. The last part's aesthetics. A gate facing the sidewalk and facing my neighbors versus facing towards our driveway and towards our service door doesn't make a lot of sense. I am going to have a gate there regardless. I need an access point because I can't do it on the west side because we're too close to our property line on our neighbor's property where I can't really put a gate. I'd put a 4-foot gate. It would be 4 foot, like I said, aluminum see-through. There's no hindrance to the corner. And I do have some documentation if you'd like to see it regarding the view. I took some photos,
Oh, isn't that-
measured it off.
Ashley, could you pull up like Google Earth view?
And if you'd like to see them, I made 3 copies if you want to see what I did here, just so you could see the corner from where the fence would be.
Sure.
Mind me approaching?
Yeah.
You guys see it? And one's a survey with the measurements, and then the back 2 are some supporting pictures.
Thank you.
Sorry, I initially had this pulled up from whatever reason I wrote that.
And the first one's just a survey showing some dimensions to the street. Second one shows the distance to the corner, from where the corner of the fence would be, and to Willow, the adjacent street. And then the last one just shows it kind of what the fence will look like. So you could see that it's very much transparent. You could see through it.
It's not going to cause any visibility issues
No,
coming
and-
out of that
Correct.
cul-de-sac. Okay. Well, Ashley, do I need to open that up to public comment today?
Yes, let's go ahead, because.
Go through the full motion and
He,
then,
he did send out to the owners that he was provided, he did post a sign on the property, he did post in the newspaper. It's just the ones that were missed need to be properly notified. So I would open it up for public hearing tonight. Just don't close the public hearing, and then when it gets to motion time, making sure that we're continuing the public hearing in the motion and deferring it to February.
you guys got any questions?
I think it's pretty straightforward.
All right, this time, we're going to open it up to public comment. It looks like no public comments, so we'll close the floor to public comment. All right, I got no other questions, you guys don't?
No. I'll make a motion to defer this item to the February meeting, keeping the public hearing open.
Second?
I have a motion and a second to continue to February 4th meeting. Everyone in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes.
Thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right, we'll move on to item B, 2026-02, Johnson, a special exception request from STJMC 24-45 to allow for personal service use yoga study within the US 41 Overlay District, Zone C2, US 41 Overlay District, located at 11107 Thiel Street. Sarah Johnson is the applicant, and Bruce Dust is the owner.
How you doing? Yes, it's for a yoga studio. So I've been a business owner in St. John for 7 years. I own Now Yoga Club and Community Center in the Lake Central Plaza, and I would like to purchase this building if I can operate a yoga studio here.
Real quick,
That was the Steeple Gallery.
My name is Sarah Johnson. My home address is 2531 Forest Park Drive in Dyer, Indiana.
That's at Steeple Gallery. by
Yeah,
way.
the steeple.
This is the former Steeple Chase Gallery.
That used car lot down that gravel road.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It's been
Okay.
vacant now for about 10 years, I think. Is that right?
Something like that.
The art gallery closed before I came to the town. I know it's been closed for a long time since then. But it's located down off of a private ingress egress known as Church Street. This is a private road here. It's not owned and maintained by the town. But for a yoga studio, this would probably be one of the best possible uses for this space, this location, and the parking lot that exists there. But because our use table says that a personal service, which a yoga studio is classified as, requires a special exception, that is why she's in front of the board tonight for the public hearing.
I don't have any, pretty cut and dry, I don't have any questions.
Are you going to come do yoga?
Probably not.
Oh, okay. Thought I'd ask.
Well, I guess at this time, I'll open the floor to public comment. I'm assuming we have no public comment, so I'll close the public comment floor. Right?
It would be a favorable, unfavorable, or no recommendation to the town council.
I'll make a motion to send a favorable recommendation to the town council referencing the findings of fact.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, say aye.
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 Aye. Oh, sorry, I was a little delayed there. Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
guys.
Good luck.
You're thinking about that yoga, weren't you?
Yeah. All right, we'll move on to C, 2026-03, Lucky Brothers Central, a developmental variance request from STJMC 516E2, STJMC 525A3, STJMC 525B5A, STJMC 519B, 24-519C, and 24-525A1 to forego screening on certain peripheral lot lines where adjacent property has different land use, to allow 5 shade trees as the green belt where 15 are required, to allow 4 ornamental trees in the green belt where 9 are required, to allow 41 shrubs in the green belt where 45 are required, to allow 4 planting strip shade trees where 9 are required, to forego screening to the southeast where the nearest parcel of residential use, to forego providing a solid visual buffer or screen of at least 5 feet in height across portions of the side north yard and the entirety of the rear east yard, to provide a 15-foot minimum green belt along US 41 where 30 foot is required, located at 8575 south of Wicker Avenue. Shamir Manhani is the applicant and DVG team is the engineer.
Good evening. Tonight's petition centers around the Lucky Central subdivision. It is a proposed gas station and convenience store at the northeast corner of US 41 and 85th Avenue. To jog everybody's memories, I believe everyone was here in September, where we were before this BZA requesting a use variance and several developmental variances. The use variance has since was favorable recommendation by this BZA and was passed by the town council. During that September meeting, we were requesting 23 development variances, and at that meeting, approximately about 2/3 of them were granted. We appreciate those very much because what it did was give this project and Shamir the confidence to move forward, invest more due diligence and planning money in that project to bring it closer to fruition. Now, during that meeting, almost all variances related to landscaping were withdrawn before you voted. Chris, you specifically made it, at least in my opinion, very clear that you were not very keen on granting broad landscaping variances so early in the process. I thought it was a very, very good dialogue. It was wise. And again, what we did receive at that September meeting gave us the confidence to keep moving forward. Since that September meeting, we have obviously Shamir has invested more money so that myself and my firm can do much more homework, and so that the requests before you tonight are much more tailored, specific, and they show, I guess, some thought put into the plan. We did touch on at that September meeting. Obviously, we are trying to fit a gas station, which does take up space, so there are still some area constraints. But what we have done, knowing those area constraints, is authorize Hubinger's Landscaping out of Crown Point to develop the full landscape plan before you. My instructions to them simply were to maximize what we can, in their opinion, what fits, knowing terminal size of species, and obviously beautify the front and the south sides as best as possible. And then with that, to develop hopefully what are more thoughtful variance requests that we have brought before you tonight. Before getting into discussion of those specific variances, the illustration that Ashley has up on the screen before you, that blue strip, is an existing, quite frankly, a rather gnarly ditch that carries flows from a culvert that runs under US 41, wraps to the south and then the east to get to Bingo Lake. If you'll notice, Ashley, can you jump back to the landscaping? While that area, which is primarily NDOT right-of-way, the petitioner does intend to completely enclose that ditch and install a proposed storm sewer that you see a small portion of the ditch remains, but there will be a storm sewer that carries water underneath the driveway onto US 41 and then to the north of the detention pond. Now, what doing so and the expense that comes with that is going to provide the opportunity is essentially transform the space between the pavement of the gas station and US 41. While we cannot landscape in US 41's right away, I hope that you keep in mind that this will be the plan before you, a truly, at least in my opinion, a transformational improvement to that corner. We'll have a lawn in the right-of-way and then as much landscaping as we possibly can where we can put it. And again, that's all developed in Hubinger's opinion, what should be placed based on terminal size. And I personally think it's going to be an amazing change to the property. Now with that, I will go into the 6 more specific variances we are requesting. The first is we do have adjacent land uses to the south, technically the east, which is across, and we do have residential to our northeast. We did do some more due diligence. We reached out to the Dancing Waters Townhomes, or the owner of that property. They do have some interest in expanding another phase, so we did put a string of arborvitae to, which is north and northeast of the pond, to satisfy the screening requirement there. We are still requesting to forego screening to the east or rear of the building. There is a picture in this packet for a couple of reasons. We talked about the distance buffer.
Well, foregoing says the southeast.
East and southeast, kind of if you, Ashley, can you go to the one up?
Yeah, but on here, on what's being asked is only for southeast. Am I correct, Ashley? It's not for east and south, it's for southeast. To forego screening to the southeast, where the nearest parcel is of residential use.
I might have had a typo in there when I was typing the agenda. That's my mistake and my apologies. It was for the south and east, and that's how it was advertised. It's for this here, the meadows of St. John, and then what would be on the other side of the railroad track.
Which, and in this case, the Meadows is already 250 feet away. The railroad track access is over 600 feet away. In this case, it still does seem redundant, especially in light of, if you could go to the next picture. The Meadows does have, obviously, their townhomes that are very, very close to the roadway. They have already an extensive amount of screening that do provide view blockage already. So in light of kind of screening already being in place, there being a road and or a lake, we are still requesting to forego screening on the east or southeast side.
And you guys are planning screening on the southeast, though, is what I'm asking. in those arborvitaes?
Not directly to the southeast. Our proposed landscaping essentially stop, and the screening that those trees will provide are essentially stopping.
I'm talking southeast corner, so it'd be southeast side of that pond. You said you're planting arborvitaes, am I correct?
No, I meant to the ones to the north.
I mean, the north.
Northeast, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, on the northeast,
So
you
if-
are planting that there.
Yeah, so if Dancing Waters were to expand, that screening would be in place.
Okay. Can you go scroll down, Ashley, so we can see that southeast? Which with the landscaping they already have, southeast with the pond isn't gonna do a whole lot.
No,
They don't even have that much property.
right. In the next picture, go down one more, Ashley, or one more. That's what.
Yeah.
I mean, whatever they plant on the other side of the road is not gonna do more than those mature trees.
Yeah.
The second and third variances are strictly related accounts, which were outlined in your agenda. I can go through them if you like, but again, we are maximizing the available landscapable area, but we are coming up short on count. We are providing some interior landscaping, which was one of the variances that we did receive at that first meeting related to landscapings. But again, with that in mind, we are requesting that these two count variances simply because the area we can landscape in, I believe we are truly filling it up. The fourth variance kind of goes in conjunction with the first variance, is that there's a requirement for residential buffer yard, so we're requesting a variance on that, and that is only related to that is only related to the meadows to the southeast. The fifth variance is buffer yard that a solid visual buffer, at least 5 feet high, should be in place on the side and rear yards. We've already touched on the rear yard, why it might be a bit redundant to provide it there. The only location where we are not providing it on our side yards is actually just north of the US 41 driveway, where again, we have a pipeline easement and then a gas station, which is of an identical use. It would, again, to me at least, it seems redundant to provide screening from equivalent.
And on that
uses.
northeast, you guys are only planning on doing 4 arborvitaes there?
They are green giants, so they're not small.
Okay.
And then the last variance we were requesting is just simply a codification of a reduced green belt due to the peculiar right-of-way on US 41, and that it jogs back. We're actually supposed to have 30. We have 15 feet at our thinnest point, so we're requesting a reduction in that green belt. And with that,
Kind of landlocked for making it.
With that, we, regardless of your decision tonight, we do at least hope that you believe we did our best on this, and obviously tried our best to take your comments during the September meeting to heart as we move concurrently through Plan Commission as well.
Well, I think you did a good job this time. I don't have any questions, you guys? All right, I'm going to open the floor to public comment. And I guess I'll close the floor, you're working those quads again. Yeah, I got nothing, guys.
This is a very much different submittal than what we received in September, where they were looking at, they were from all of them, and then just providing some when they got to the plan commission stage. They are now actually in front of the plan commission. They're going to be taking a primary class this month, with site plan next month. So now they're much more flushed out in their process on what they're looking at being able to put there. And because they are providing much more screening and they're taking consideration for the residential that's going to be going to the northeast, kind of where their 2 corners kind of a buzz here. At this point in time, I don't foresee any major issues with there, especially because there still could be plenty of vision area here on the US 41 highway. So we're not having issues there.
Hope I agree.
same thing down here. Even with all the greenscape they're putting along here, it's still gonna be well enough for whichever vehicle may be entering or exiting to be able to see oncoming or going traffic.
And I would add to that, Ashley, I know it's more of a plan commission function, but we do not expect left turns to be allowed out of the US 41 driveway. So there's 50% less reason to worry it's cut off. But either way, when a car does get to the curb to leave, they will be forward of the
In a visual
vegetation.
buffer in the southeast corner could pose a problem for anyone traveling west on 85th, may not see someone coming out of the drive there, so I don't think it's a good idea to put a visual buffer there.
Right.
Not with how little land there is between the lake and the land and the ditch.
Right.
But there's no issues from staff on these variances that are being brought forth tonight.
I think it looks good.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve St. John Municipal Code 516E2, 525A3, 525B5A, 519B, 24519C, 24525A1. Approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare of the community. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property and the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner. That the strict application of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties within the use of the property.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to D, 2026-04 Schillings. Developmental variance request from STJMC 24-195, STJMC 24-346, to allow for a lot with a width of 50 foot at the road, no frontage road, and to allow for post frame buildings in the US 41 overlay district, zone C2, US 41. Overlay district located at 8780 Wicker Avenue, distribution 8750 Wicker Avenue, LLC owner, and Jack Slager is the agent, and DVG is the engineer.
Good evening, Jack Slager with Schillings and representing 8750 Wicker LLC. We're here tonight to request 3 developmental variances on a new project at the lumberyard. If you've been by the lumberyard, you've seen that we recently have been working on an addition on the main store. We added a 2-story office addition on the back of the building. And in order to accommodate that addition, we had to demolish and tear down 2 of our existing barns in the middle of our property. So we're attempting to replace that storage with a new warehouse, and it would go north of the existing lumberyard. We, a few years back, we purchased the Nelson Construction property that was north of the lumberyard. We've refurbished the building that was there, cleaned up the site, and that's the northernmost building that you see on that screenshot. That's a 12,000 square foot warehouse, and we're proposing a 24,000 square foot addition onto that warehouse that would go behind it. So it's basically about 600 feet off of US 41. But in order to do so, when we came to Ashley for a building permit for that building, we needed to create a 1-lot subdivision. So I will also be attending Plan Commission later tonight, requesting approval for the 1-lot subdivision. So this 1-lot subdivision will have a 50 foot of frontage along 41, which is just enough to allow the driveway, the existing driveway that's there now. And then because we are in the US 41 overlay district, we need a special variance for the post frame building, and then no frontage road is also required in the US 41 overlay district. But we actually own the property on both sides of it, so at this point, there's really no point in constructing a frontage road. Someday, we may develop further north, and there may be use for it at that point, but right now, there isn't, so.
Pretty cut and dry. I got no questions, Jack. You guys? We'll open to public comment and close public comment.
As Jack talked about, they came to me, or they submitted a permit in October, and because it exceeded the non-conforming section of the town regulations, I told them they needed a one-lot subdivision. So they're proposing this one-lot subdivision, and because they're making the one-lot subdivision, they needed these specific waivers, especially because they already have a metal and post frame building there. We do require 90 foot of frontage, and they're only proposing 50 to try and save as much property further to the north in the event that it develops in the
Yep.
future. And then, just like he said, it already is connected to the lumber yard, and most of the time, it's their workers are bringing stuff to their customers, and the customers don't have to go there, so a frontage road isn't really needed much at this time. So those are the reasons why those are kind of the variances.
Yeah, I see no issue with it.
Make a motion to approve the variances for STJMC 24-195 and 24-346. Approval will not be injurious to public health, safety, morals, comfort, or general welfare of the community. The use and value of the area adjacent to the property included in the variance will not be affected in a substantially adverse manner, and the strict applications of the zoning ordinance will result in practical difficulties in the use of the property.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Everyone in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff. All right, we are going to move to number 7, new and old business.
Just real quick for record purposes, item E was not properly noticed, therefore it is being moved to the February meeting and will be advertised for such.
Okay.
For new and old business, I have nothing new or old to start the new year off with.
Okay, we'll move on to public comment, which I'm going to assume there is none. All right. Move on to 9. This meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody.